Yeah, I think so, but you can't
yeah,
commit too much to
I've seen
water.
some good. Exactly. You've got to have some kind of stake in that land on the middle, right?
Hmm.
Because I've seen migration free for alls before. I think I did a tyrant free for all like 3 years ago or something, and it was on migration, and there was some really cool stuff that happened. But ultimately, like, yeah, you kind of have to have the middle.
Yeah, it's an interesting and difficult balance because, of course, you're going to have allies, but you're really susceptible to being attacked if you stay on this island too often. You can be 3v1'd and
Oh yeah.
2v1'd and things like that. We'll see what happens, but this is on a large size, so maybe they'll have a little bit more time. Let's introduce the players. It is
Jeez.
Pig Civ, and I will go around. In the blue, we have Saladesk. He is the guy who has made most of my emotes and a lot of my images, so I am hoping he will do well this game. He is in the blue. In the orange below, we have Teutonic Knights playing as Teutonic Tanks, sorry, playing as the Spanish. In the purple, we have Claviscus playing as the Koreans. In the gray, we have Aquino playing as the Celts. In the yellow, we have playing as the Mayans Pumiko, who is well known for his work in the community.
Oh.
In the red, we have Idefix playing as the Vikings. In the teal is LB10, I think the strongest player without a doubt in this game. And in the green is Sci-Fly playing as the Spanish. So, just looking at the civilizations, is there anything that came to your mind when you saw the civilizations, Zach?
Well, I mean, the first thing that came to my mind is that LB10, the strongest player in the game, but probably the third strongest player in the world, according to my last year's player rankings. So I'm expecting great things from LB10 here. I'm looking forward to it. And also, cool to see Pumakel here as well. I think that's cool. Yeah, a lot of civs. And to be honest, with it being a free-for-all and diplomacy kind of coming into play, I think those two Spanish players might be hot for taking.
Yeah, I feel like now that I'm thinking about the Rumble settings, I should have switched the maps. For the first game, I probably should have done migration. For the second game, I probably should have done graveyards because in the first game, players were very campy just because their skill level was a little bit lower. And normally when I do migration with that skill level, I find players are a little bit more aggressive and they'll do landings with petards and crossbows and try and snipe. And had we done graveyards with this level, that probably would have been a much faster game. So here I'm interested. I don't think we're going to see a ton of landings, but I think there will be a ton of aggression in the middle. In your experience with migration, what really sets these civilizations or maybe players apart once they get to the middle?
Having a decent stake in the land in the center, definitely going to help, and probably having some knights to be able to get some control.
Yeah.
But really the question is where do the boundaries get formed? Where do the alliances get made? And if you can get out onto that center and get a decent foothold, the question is how long can you hold on to it for? Because people will be all scrambling for that center island, and well, it's not really an island, is it? But it is, but it's a pretty big landmass, and some people will get pushed off.
Yeah.
And then I'm always interested to see, can they make it back on again?
Yeah, that's true, and it's almost impossible to get back on. Quickly, I want to thank a name I'm horrible at pronouncing, as usual, Rydarian, for the subscription. Welcome to the T90 Elite, man. You're definitely right, and I think the most interesting thing about this event is that players at this level and then a level above this in the next game will have to form alliances because we normally don't see that, and they're not used to that. And that's the most exciting thing for me. They'll have 3 or 4 people allied, and many times they're just used to being on the same team all the time. They might not expect a backstab.
Yeah.
So that's what's exciting here.
So with the alliances coming into play, obviously it can get pretty tricky and pretty confusing who's exactly allied with who. Should I be the head of diplomacy and take on the task of figuring out where these alliances lay?
That would be wonderful. I'll try and move around as little as possible on the screen. It's very difficult to figure that out and see when people are sniping, so best of luck.
Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna do my best. Let them get to like the feudal age first, I guess, and at least start making some progress. But yeah. So you had the previous game was lower level than this, and then this is like the medium, and then after this we got the top levels, right?
Yeah. So the way I had it set up was below 1600 for the first game. This is 16 to 1800,
Cool.
and then 1800 plus for the last game, which is mainly 2K pluses. So I wasn't expecting so many big names to sign up, but it's involving a lot of probably different strategies too, as well as skill levels.
So you got Nilpford in to cast the low level.
Yeah, I know.
That's quite funny.
Yeah, I know.
I'm
it's
sure he
interesting.
gave some great insight there.
Yeah, he did pretty well, to be honest, because like sometimes when you cast with
Awesome.
Nilly, he'll just be like, well, 10 villagers instead of 9 villagers on wood is just so much better, and you know, there's small differences, right? And when you cast the lower rated, they have a lot of big differences, but it's such a joy to cast with Nilly and all of you guys, so it is definitely a funny thing that I had them there. Fishing, I want to talk to the stream a little bit about the importance of fishing and the way this map works. You start with deer only, you have no starting boar, and that's why fishing is so important. With this type of setup, with a free-for-all, you never want to be the first to attack. So normally you would grush or maybe go fires and try and get some water control, but I don't know if players will do that. I mean, I'm looking now, Salad is at least allied with his... Yeah, he's allied with his flanks, so I don't know how aggressive people will be, which might actually mean we'll see faster up times. But it's so hard to call. There's no way to predict what'll happen here.
It looks like there's a little alliance forming in the north of the map. So LB10, I think it's Sci-Fly and Salad. I think they've got a little makeshift alliance going on up in the north there. And at the moment, actually, Sci-Fly is allied with everybody, or allied to everyone. I don't know if they're allied back, though. I don't think they are.
Yeah, Sci-Fi's one of those guys. He starts the game and immediately allies everybody. Those are one of the guys you don't trust. Yeah, you can see that some of the guys didn't believe him, but...
Yeah, sure. And the reason why he might want to do that, of course, is if you're allied with everyone and then you get cartography, you get to see a lot of the map, and also spies, which would technically be free if everyone is your ally.
Yeah, and that's another interesting thing to point out. As the skill level gets greater and the next game comes, that's an upgrade we oftentimes don't see from top players until much later in the game, so we might see players go into that upgrade earlier on because they want to get some scouting info. But look, there's a fight on the right side between LB10 and Idafix. LB10 trying to get some map control.
Yeah, obviously there's a little bit of a different thing at play here as well, which is the castle. Every player starting with the castle, and that's going to help to protect those docks. So it's going to be difficult to really fully take water, I feel, but LB10 certainly getting ahead on this right side, that's for sure.
Yeah, you can always retreat to your castle, like you said. You have to favor LB in a one-on-one engagement, I think, against all these players. So I think he has a little bit of a target on his back because of that. I mean, he might have a little bit of success in the early game, but as this game progresses, you have to think players are going to be looking out to kill him. Vikings is an interesting choice. Obviously, winning water is really important, but you can't surround this mainland with water control. So you have to, I think, pick a civilization which is also pretty strong on the mainland. Like Salad, for example. Saracens, good on both. So we'll see how LB does with Vikings.
Yeah, the same could be said for Spanish as well, and already we see some of those players moving into the center. I think actually it's both Viking players focusing on water right now, whilst everyone else is moving over. So we've also got on the left side Teutonic Tanks. He's looking pretty good, and Claviskis adding in a turtle ship.
I'm looking at
the castle. Why not?
I'm looking at that right now. I heard the shot and I was like, what could that be? That has to be a bug. But no, he has two of them and he's being chased away, which, guys, kind of makes sense because you can mass so many war galleys and they just do a better job, which is a little bit disappointing, but it is the truth. They have more range, they fire a little bit faster, and yeah, it's just a better move. But the important thing lies in the middle right now. As players are looking to fortify their economies, I see Aquino actually tossing 3 town centers up. There's a stone there, a gold there, and wood there. So that's a good example of what you want to do. I think the one thing he needs to be careful with is staying so cramped. If he does that, he could be completely surrounded. So, like you said, going knights, actually a very smart move to get some map control.
Yeah, at the moment though, I'm curious if they're going to really do much military in the center.
Yeah.
At the moment, if you look at Aquino, for example, he's got no military right now. He's fishing quite heavily, and he's immediately, like you say, thrown down 3 TCs. He's even putting up a monastery to grab that relic. So at the moment, he's just focused on getting his eco in top shape, and it's a risky move, but if you can buy yourself enough time and you can just kind of avoid the action, you put yourself into a very strong position. And I think ultimately those who have the strongest hold in the middle are definitely going to be having the advantage as the game goes on. Similar strat for Sci-Fi as well in the north.
Sci-Fi actually just changed everybody that was still an enemy to him to enemy. So he didn't stay as an ally.
Hey.
He realized it, and he's like, you know what? I am done being nice. I tend to agree. I can agree and disagree with the boom style that these players are playing with right now. Everybody seems to be grabbing the relic right away. It's always a risk-reward type situation when you boom up like this and you don't go for any land military. You don't get that map control, but you do get the economy, and if you can get away with building up that economy, then it normally works out. But most players, I think, at this level are going to just boom and then try and push out late cast lates, early imp.
For sure. And I think that's why it gives some merit to putting your TCs so close together in Aquino's situation. Because if he's planning on just kind of defending and just booming, then putting his TCs closer means it's a lot more safe for his villagers for the time being, until he kind of expands a bit further out of his little circle here. But it looks like to me we're kind of seeing the north versus south kind of setup right here. And I think Red's kind of going to be sat off to the side for a while, maybe quiet underdog, making his way back into it later on. But for now, certainly falling a little behind.
Okay, so obviously, I put this on AOC Zone like a week ago. Players had to sign up on AOC Zone, with the exception of a couple players here who were replacements. I was thinking, wow, it's weird LB is not yet on the mainland. It's weird that he's only on 1 TC. He must have a plan. I think he had a plan going into this. He's actually going to hit the Imperial Age on 1 TC here shortly. He might go Cannon Galleons and try to kill someone's king.
Yeah, he's doing a lot of damage actually as well to Pumacel right now. He's just lost about 15 villagers on a wood line.
I didn't see that. Yeah, so, oh my gosh.
Yeah. Avoiding the army of Idefix with these longboats and just kind of bypassing that, going straight to Pumacel. But you might be right. I mean, right now he does have a university, but the question is he going to get chemistry here and go for that kind of king snipe? I don't know. I think maybe the plan is for him to try and take water while his teammates. I don't know if there was pre-made teams going into this or not, but maybe he was trying to secure water while his teammates take the land. But ultimately, they had to backstab each other anyway, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's last man standing. So I mean, last time it was as well, and they decided to sink the ship with their Santa Clauses inside. So maybe similar thing would happen here, and we will probably see many sinking ships. But I like LB's approach because it's different. But if he loses too much control in the mainland, that's going to be a struggle for him. Cannon Galleons would be nice to see, but again, he can't wrap to the other side and do damage to those players on water so easily. He'll get stalled.
Through that.
So we'll see what happens.
He is doing chemistry, though.
Yeah, this would be fun to see. I mean, normally you don't see action now, so this would be fun to watch for sure.
Well, anybody who's still got their Santa inside of their castle, they're at risk right now.
And that's probably everybody.
LB10's coming for them.
I'm looking.
Yeah. I don't think anyone will have moved it to the middle yet.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it. Aquino may have, actually. Yes, he did move it to the middle. He's in the TC. But everybody seems to have it in the middle.
I think Claviscus as well.
I mean, on the outside.
In the middle. And
we'll take a look
Purple's
at
got a king. Not a king, a castle, sorry, on the center. And obviously he's playing as the Koreans, so potential to be a really good late game powerhouse. The question is, will he get that sort of Korean death ball going or not?
Yeah, he doesn't quite have the numbers right now, only 85 pop, but he is on his way to imp. I'll remind you guys, the dashboard doesn't work for me except for the population numbers, kill death, things like that. So I can't see when upgrades are coming in, but it's fairly obvious right now. It's not too important, and we'll obviously see the units as well. I know that we're so used to these fancy features, but we can do without it.
Yeah, it's cool, but right now, I mean, LB10, let's have a look back. Chemistry will have been done, and cannon galleons are coming out. So
Wow.
this is quite well done, actually. I mean, 25 minutes is not a bad time at all to be getting those cannon galleons out, and this is brutal. We could just be seeing our first player eliminated in a couple of seconds here.
Yeah, Red needs to think about
Awesome.
transporting his king, and he might just do that. He has a transport coming over. I'm going to look at his castle. His Santa Claus is in there. It is risky, and it... Oh, man, it's going to be so close.
Oh, God. He's got to get the king now, because if he loses that transport with the king inside, it's game over. And if he loses the opportunity to transport the king, it's also game over.
Well, there goes the transport.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on there, and there's no way that Idefix can actually can fight this army and win, I feel.
I think that he may have sent the transport by accident into that fight, like he just grabbed every unit and sent it forward, but that accident could cost him his life. He might be building a transport on the back because he has a dock back there, so we'll have to pay attention. Yeah. But then again, he doesn't have much control in the middle, only 2 TCs. I don't know if there's anything going on in the middle, but it'll be crazy.
Yeah, I think middle is very quiet for the time being, but I think what Red needs to do is build a transport ship from that south dock and just send the king across to the mainland. I don't know if he's friends with Pumacel right now. I think he is enemies with Pumacel, so he really is in a bad spot, that's for sure.
Yeah, and take a look and just confirm that. It looks like they are on different teams, and Pumacel is walling him in. Now, Idefix is on the way up to Imp in one of those TCs. I don't get his reluctance to transport, and he instead wants to win water back, I think. So maybe he's hoping LB will take his foot off the gas, because LB will be prioritizing land or something. I don't think so either. And keep in mind, like, he could maybe move the king towards his house and market, and that'd be out of range of LB. But LB could transport like crossbows and just pick that guy off. So this is not going to be easy.
Not at all, and I think we're going to start to see some action in the middle very soon. We've got Salad putting down a bunch of military buildings here in the middle, and I think looking really good at the moment right now is Aquino. He's got some trebs out, and he's ready to get going with that siege. Yeah,
and we talked about the Korean death ball, but the Celt death ball as well would be really, really strong. Also, look at the Orange Navy. Teutonic Tanks has been on water as well, and he's in range of a lot of Blue's economy.
Whoa.
And I'm not quite sure where Salad's king is, but regardless, he's going to be in a rough position. It looks like it's on to the right of the TC that was just being attacked by the ships. But man, Red, he has the Santa Claus by the university. Just hiding back there now.
LB10 the Grinch.
Yeah, exactly.
Christmas.
Kappa Grinch, guys. Get it in the chat.
But yeah, right now I don't know if the cannon galleon can maybe even hit the king from the shoreline here, but maybe with the elite cannon galleon upgrade, it could be possible.
Yeah.
It's already upgraded to elite. Okay, wow.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize that. I find this really interesting because I talked about how players who attack first oftentimes put a target on their back as Blue comes down to attack Orange, and I think he's gonna have to go back once that castle goes up. But everybody's attacking. 30 minutes, everybody's attacking. Nobody's turtling up really except for Gray. So normally, if this was the 1600 and below game, players would be sitting back a little bit more, but as the skill levels rise, the action rises too, and Blue and Green are now going back, but they are definitely teaming and working together more than any other players right now.
Yeah, I think so too. I'm just trying to figure out the story on the land here, because Pumacel looks like he's not actually allied with anybody. I think he's a lone ranger.
Yeah.
The sea of red on that mini-map for him. But keeping himself to himself for the time being, not really causing any ripples in the water, and just sitting back. I wonder if that's going to work out for him as the game goes on.
It's going to be rough. I mean, normally you set your alliances early on and you rarely change them unless it's like late game. So I don't know how easy it's going to be for him. Also as Mayans, I mean, versus Koreans and Celts and all these other civilizations,
Yeah.
Spanish and Saracens, it's not going to be good. I don't understand the choice from him, but maybe he just likes Mayans, and that's the only explanation. If he's untouched,
Who
he
needs
could
a reason?
exactly. He could always snipe kings with plumed archers. I mean, players at this level often forget the flat-out king snipe. They just try and wipe out armies.
I've just seen in the center of the map Aquino's Santa running back behind his gate right now. He accidentally sent his Santa forward with his army.
Oh man,
that was really, really dicey.
Oh.
Sending it back now to that castle, but geez. As he actually comes in and takes on Salad. So Salad's in a little bit of a 2v1 situation at the moment. He's being attacked on the water by Teutonic tanks, and we've got the cannon galleons shredding his home island, and he's also getting the wrath of Aquino in the center here. This is going to be rough.
Well, it is going to be rough because Salad cannot run with his king next to the shoreline if he loses the water, so he has to hold water. And also on land, he doesn't really have much military. His king is to the left of his castle. Siege rams and probably siege onagers coming in from Aquino, because I believe he just researched it. Halberdiers, I mean, this is a great push from Aquino.
Yeah, and there's no way that Salad is ready for this. His teammate, Sci-Fly, also not ready for this at the moment. But I think we're going to see some Paladins or Cavalier coming out from Sci-Fly very soon. But it might be a little bit too late here, as Aquino just demolishes Salad's base at the moment.
Yeah, and it actually looks like Koviscus is coming in as well. So these guys are going after the guy who's in my heart for making so many images for me and really helping me out. They're just taking him out, and Koviscus is asking Aquino for an alliance, so we'll see if that happens. LB, we haven't talked about too much. How's he doing on Navy? He's keeping red at his base, and he's down at Pumicles, destroying everything that's there. A ton of houses. But
yeah, for now,
don't
LB
know.
just seems to be spreading out on the water. Has he just turned against Sci-Fly as well?
Yes.
Yes,
he has.
He's just the okay, nice.
Sci-Fly
so he's
and
going against the world.
Sci-Fi and Salad-esque are on everyone's naughty list, man. Like, nobody likes them. And I it's so obvious. I don't know why. Maybe they saw them as a threat, maybe they had map control they wanted, but this has all happened so fast for them. And the king for Salad is right there in that TC.
Yeah, that's dangerously close now to these trebs and this siege. Of course, Aquino with those honor just going to be able to take down those arbalest pretty well, but Sci-Fly coming to the rescue with some cavs here, so maybe this Cavalier and this arbalest combo can hold them off for now, but it is dangerously close to this TC, and oh yeah, there's also Claviscus as well.
Yeah, at this point Salad needs to appeal. To those who maybe hear the garbage truck outside my apartment, I apologize. but yeah, Salad maybe needs to appeal to Koviscus and say, hey, I'll send you resources or something. Orange is on the left side of the mainland, and he's actually pushing in versus Salad-esque as well. So this is just really bad for Salad, and to be honest, I don't know how he can really push this back. It's mainly just holding on at this point.
Yeah, getting pretty desperate here, building guard towers. I mean, if that's not a sign of desperation, I really don't know what is. But yeah, I mean, maybe Sci-Fly can help him out, but let's not forget Sci-Fly here. Being raided by LB10, and Sci-Fly's king is stuck on his island as well, so LB10 could potentially take him out here as well.
Yeah, now I wonder if LB and Teutonic tanks are allied. I believe they are, because they're right next to one another. So
Yes.
two large navies with cannon galleons are going to go after Sci-Fly. Sci-Fly again could go like next to his houses in the back and just survive, but it's only survival at this point for him. I'm looking at Pumakel, and he's attacking red, and red actually has
yes,
LB10's
nice.
castles on his face as well. So I don't think this has been a good game for red either, as 3 out of the 8 players are being focused down pretty quickly in this game.
Yeah, I think we're going to see GG from Red. Well, maybe not, but I mean, he's going to try and rebuild at home, I guess. But
yeah,
I mean, what kind of existence is this? I don't know. Is it one worth living?
Exactly.
Just put yourself out of your misery, man. But yeah, we've seen the castle from Sci-Fly going down at the top of the map, and the Santa, he is there. About to jump into that watchtower, but Man, it's again going to be one of those things. Is it an existence worth living? At least Sci-Fi has a little more on the land for the time being.
Speaking of an existence, Salad doesn't have much of one left. I mean, look at his mainland, surrounded by orange. He has a couple farms working, and he has to travel so far to get this gold.
Yes.
And I don't know how long that'll be, and then he has a TC, he has 3 towers, some Arbalest, but I don't see that lasting long. So much action, so much to focus on, but you can see Orange pushing in still, and interesting to note that Orange is actually against Kloviscus, so Orange could distract Kloviscus. I believe Gray and Kloviscus are allied though, so just some interesting points here.
Yeah, it seems so.
But Sci-Fi has a lot of paladins.
And I think...
I don't know if you saw that, Zero,
Yeah,
but
he does actually.
that's actually big, yeah.
I don't know. I mean, the thing is, he is up against these Haubs, Mass Haub from Aquino, and they don't have the additional attack upgrades, which aren't as important right now against the Haubs, but still, I don't know if he's got enough. For now, though, Aquino pushing in with these Siege Onagers, this could be pretty brutal for Salad. I mean, there's not a lot left here, and I think...
Yes.
I don't see this king lasting very long, to be honest.
yeah.
Not anymore.
that is awful. And he has nowhere to run, as we've said. One thing I want to point out is as we watch this fight, LB10's kill death ratio is nuts. 250 kills, 19 deaths. I mean, guy's all over it, and it's almost like he thought, you know what, to protect my king, I need to go after their islands and protect the water, because then they can never access mine on the mainland. He went like kind of in reverse, and very interesting strategy from him. We'll see if this king survives.
And we're about to see... Yeah, he's gone. He's a goner.
Oh,
No.
man, he's running away.
What's going on?
He's gonna run past Orange's ships. Orange doesn't have ballistics?
There we go.
Oh, there we go.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. And Salad, of all people, is the first to go down. And everybody thinks his death is hilarious. Of course. Now, interesting to note,
Brilliant.
if you take out the starting islands, you also can then transport and take all of the resources. So that's going to be really crucial. I see a transport from Orange. I don't know what is in the transport. I'm really curious. I'm going to...
Well, I'm actually looking right now. Just check this out. LB10. We thought he was the ruler of the waves, but nope. That's a Santa in his castle, and okay. Oh my god, he actually just got it into the transport.
Holy shit!
I don't believe that just happened. I don't believe that just
Oh
happened.
my gosh, so
How did
close.
he just pull that off?
I don't know. I was just saying how he was so safe. Sci-Fi almost with the Santa snipe. Oh man.
The castle's gone, but the king's out of there.
Now where's he run? Red
did
actually
he do
has
that?
some longboats. Not much though, not
Did he
enough.
go to the Red Island? No, surely not.
Oh man.
Wow. That was so close. The paladins were right there.
And I mean,
jeez.
LB's losing the mainland to paladins and now plumed archers from Pumakel, so I think LB is in an awful position. Going full on water
Yeah,
maybe
he
was
really
not
is.
the right move.
I knew it. I knew it. He's got landed on red. He's not even going for the mainland anymore. That was never his plan.
Oh man, insane. And there's probably going to be more snipes coming as well. I wasn't sure what Orange was planning with his transport. It looks like he just transported villagers. Okay, Gray, who did a really good job in the initial fight, now has top score. Looks to have the most fortified base, in my opinion, in the middle. Because everything's so
Yeah, he's looking
neat
good.
and tidy. And also,
I mean, he's
with
got to
his
be
unit
careful
composition,
that he
that's
doesn't
nice.
overchop or something. Yeah, oh yeah, of course, putting the siege just behind the walls is great, but he has to be careful. Like, Pumakel here at the south, for example, does have a wall where there is no wall from Aquino behind it, so he could kind of come in with a sneak attack from the back here. But I mean, we need to see where else are the alliances sort of sitting at the moment.
It's
It
so
looks like
hard to
Kloviscus is
follow
taking out-
everything, yeah.
Yeah.
Teutonic Tanks is
on the
allied
left
with
side.
LB. Yeah, Teutonic Tanks not being attacked by Kloviscus. Someone actually researching treason, which I'd love to see, so they know the king locations.
Oh, of course. I realized at the start of this cast, I said, players who ally everyone can get spies and then see everything.
Yeah.
But that's not true because it's actually Regicide, so that doesn't actually work the same way. I forgot that.
Yeah,
but
so
look at this,
it would-
LB10.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say LB10 determined to take somebody out this game before he goes out himself. He's just going all in on Idefix here. Poor guy. He's got nowhere to run.
Yeah, I mean, maybe he'll be able to collect a little bit of gold and wood then. I don't know, but his fishing ships are idle on the right. He's gonna try and get that Santa Claus. I think he will do that. I don't think Red can run away unless he has some navy. But man, the snipes are gonna be real. I'm just gonna be panning all around as Orange is losing some castles now. I feel like Gray is a real threat. I don't think Gray is doing as much as he could do, so I feel like he's just sitting back.
Well, saying that, where's Sci-Fly's base gone? It's just disappeared.
Sci-Fi's base has disappeared. Do you see where his king is? I've been watching it. His king is in a tower, so I mean, someone could easily take that out.
Absolutely. Maybe it's LB10 as well.
LB's going in with berserks, and
There we
Red
go.
needs to run away. Oh
There's
man,
no escape.
he's building
down.
a farm wall. The farm wall is real. Santa's running away, and actually, Red could clear out the ships here from LB and buy himself some time to get a transport.
Oof, it could happen, but what are the chances? Run, Santa, run. Come on, get
We'll
out
see.
of there.
He's gonna kill the ship. He might have a little bit of time. The Treb just missing.
Is he training a ship there? He is. He's got no. Oh, he's run out of. He's housed. He needs to suicide some villagers.
I think he's building a house right now.
Yeah, there you go.
There's the transport. Oh, he's trying to
Wall
wall in the
Santa
king.
in.
What are you doing? Just keep running. Oh
Get a
man.
wall. Get a wall.
Meanwhile, I'm trying to watch.
Bring in the villies.
Meanwhile, I'm trying to watch Pumakel to see how he's doing against Gray, because I mean, Celts versus Mayans not a very easy combo.
Going well.
And the transport's coming out for Red, and oh, LB's coming in with ships. Red doesn't see it yet,
That's gotta be it.
and LB making a mistake and
Okay.
attacking. Go
I
ahead.
know that we might see a king die, but in the middle of the map, Gray has a ton of siege onagers, and that's a lot of plumed archers right there.
Oh my
we gotta
gosh.
watch this.
I don't think Pumakel's paying attention. Oh.
Yeah, he's not. He's not.
Could have been worse, but he needs to transition into
Could have
Eagles.
been.
He is going into Eagles. This is really good play from him. And he has a lot of the map.
thinking.
He has a lot of the map as well. Where LB was, he can... And where Red was, there's a lot of golden space for him. But still, SO. Oof. Gonna be rough.
Yeah, it's pretty brutal. I mean, even against Eagles, it's all well and good, but I mean, when you've got that many siege onagers, a lot of Eagles are also going to get caught in the crossfire. So it is a pain to fight that as the Mayans. It's rough. And then of course the Celts can always switch into some supporting Wodies just to help deal with those Eagles as well. I feel like they're so well countered. Man, at least Pumakel has his eco bonus. That's at least going to allow him to make a lot more of this map than the other civs in this game.
He actually has the highest population at the moment, so he does have a lot going for him at the moment. The thing is, Gray, he's not being raided. He's pretty much untouched. I think as this game goes on, you're going to see that the water control is not as important, unless the kings, of course, are on those small islands. It's just going to be very difficult to do anything if you have all your population on the water. And in goes Pumakel, but he's losing so many eagles to the SOs. He can't deal with it because of the small choke point.
Yeah, and those rams are actually working really well to actually block him from running in. And there you go, Eagle's gone. Jeez, that was just brutal. But the thing is that for Gray right now, this is great for just sitting back and defending when he can buy himself time, as much time as he needs to just get back up to pop.
Well, defending would work, but I think he has other ideas as he moves forward.
pushing.
Oh, he just killed like 3 of his own siege onagers.
Oh, wow.
Maybe even more.
Player.
Yeah, seriously. This is really risky because the Eagles could kill so many units here. Pumakel could kill all the SOs.
That was hilarious. So,
Yes.
for now, he's okay.
Yeah.
But that was really costly, like unnecessarily costly.
Yeah, well, there's not much going on other than this fight at the moment. I believe that purple and orange are still fighting on the left. If more eagles come out from Pumiko, though, I think he should be able to clear out the SO. Because he's taking out all the rams, he's repairing that castle.
Yeah.
Yes.
He just needs more
I mean,
eagles.
he could even just... Yeah, he could even just run the plumed archers at it, to be honest. I mean, SO are pretty low. But yeah, honestly, eagles here makes a lot of sense. And with those rams down, yeah, Pumiko, I think he's going to be able to hold this for now. The question is, will he go with some kind of a sneak at this bottom wall? Because it looks like Aquino trying to set up some trade here. Who is he trading with, though? I think it might be purple, actually.
Yeah, I mean, they were the only two I saw talking in the chat about an alliance, and everybody's just been trying to kill each other, except, of course, Sci-Fly and Salad, and Sci-Fly lost his only ally pretty quickly, and also he's pretty much out of the game on 34 villagers at this point. So I find that very interesting. And Orange, I wanted to point out, is going to be out of wood if he's not already. Yeah, it looks like he's out of wood on that left side. He has nowhere to go. He does have trade cogs. Don't know where he will go. Maybe someone's dock?
You'd trade with someone's dead dock. I don't know. But,
Oh, Sci-Fi's
yeah,
dock, I think. But yeah, sorry, continue.
I was going to say, he's taken out Claviscus on his, like, starting island. And I think Purple's going to be feeling the pinch a little bit now, because he's going to be surrounded on the... Well, not surrounded, I guess, but he's going to have a lot of that shoreline contested by cannon galleons and all of that good stuff. I also see LB10 with his navy going around the top.
Yes,
I think they might be looking to try and go for side-fly here.
Oh boy, these siege onagers at Pumiko's base. Oh my gosh, Pumiko, no! Oh my gosh, he's losing everything here. Everything. He'll lose the castle at the top. Oh yeah, sorry about that. I didn't mean to spoil it.
Oh wow.
But that's
no, it's cool.
disgusting.
Wow.
Losing 60 population in a matter of seconds, and still no eagles.
Oh, he's down to 79. What happened? He was at like 180 population. But, you know, population can be deceiving if they all just get flattened in a split second, you know? That's rough. But the eagles are coming out. I don't know if he's going to be able to clean this up, but the castle's certainly going to help now with this up. And maybe the siege onagers will be focused here.
Yeah, I mean, you have to respect him for his determination here, and maybe that losing 60 plumed archers was a little bit of a kick in the pants to make more eagles here. So the eagles are coming out.
Freed up some population space.
Exactly. And while that castle will probably go down here in a second, he will do decent against the trebuchets and the halberdiers. Good fight from Pumiko this game.
Yes. That was nice, and now we've got Claviscus coming in, so these guys clearly working together.
Yeah.
And the way I kind of foresee this playing out is Pumiko will get cleaned off the mainland. Teutonic tanks will get cleaned off the mainland. And then Aquino and Claviscus will kind of be the last ones there just to fight to the death, I guess.
Yeah, that's definitely likely. I feel like on migration, players don't have enough time to reboom after they go down. If this was a standard lands map, they would have that. Sci-Fi, I believe, I'm going to check after this fight, which I believe Pumiko will win because he's up against mainly skirmishers and rams, but I believe that Sci-Fi is now allied with Pumiko, and it's going to be pretty much Claviscus and Aquino versus everybody for a while. As I say that, LB still does not like Sci-Fi, and
Samson's in trouble.
I'm a little bit confused. Yeah, I'm a little bit confused because everybody's attacking Sci-Fly, but LB is still not attacking Orange. Yeah, so maybe they're not all working together, but I feel like they should, in the middle at least.
Yeah, I think LB and Teutonic tanks are working together.
Yep.
And Pumiko at this rate is not going to have anything left before long. The Wodies are coming in, so the Eagles not going to last forever, and I'm fairly certain Aquino has a better economy than Pumiko right now, so yeah, I'm a little concerned for him. The water, though, I mean, LB10 Teutonic tanks, they can be annoying, and they can trade on the water as well. There's actually a lot of trade cogs going by at the top of the map here.
Oh, it looks like the Santa Claus went down for Sci-Fly, and it might have been a transport by LB. Elite Berserk transport to kill the Santa Claus, and he's just being a menace now. He actually is up to
flames too.
Decent, yeah, he's up to a decent population, but it's mainly military. 154 population, 80 military. And a lot of his pop is fishing ships as well, so I mean, not doing too much on land, but interesting that he's sniping.
I guess the real question is, can these guys get back onto the land? Like, if, let's say they completely lose this center island, and Pumakel's pushed off, Sci-Fly is obviously out now. Can LB10 and Teutonic tanks with trade cogs and fish get back onto that mainland? Can they do it?
Well, there is a lot of space at the top. Gray seems to be there, but Orange is now building a TC at the top, and LB actually does have a TC at the top peninsula. Now, there is some trade going as well between some of these players, so it looks like they're playing the late game. Maybe they will communicate and use Karto, like you said, but it seems like there are definitely alliances being set, and Pumako is now not part of any alliance as he runs his Santa Claus away, and Sci-Fly was his
with
ally,
an escort.
who's now dead, exactly, and a very
love it,
a very useless escort as well. But he's gonna build a castle, and oh, LB almost sniped Santa. That's close.
Wow.
Jeez.
39, 27, 15. Oh my god.
Oh. I didn't think it was going to be that close, yeah.
Yeah, man, that's not good.
It doesn't seem like he has much of a chance, and the bad thing is for everybody else is that once this is all lost, Sci-Fly and Pumako had a lot of gold and wood down here, so you don't want to give that to Celts and Koreans.
That's true. Also, look at this at the top. Claviscus is they've found this new town center from Teutonic tanks. They're going to find this area up here from LB10. It's getting raided. And this is what I was talking about. Can they really get a foothold on this main island now? It's going to be so hard. And once they have dealt with Pumakel down here, the attention will turn. And they will turn it up here to the north. And yeah, from then on, I don't know, maybe, I mean, LB10 could just say, well, look, I've got full water control. If they want to kill me, they're going to have to come and get me.
Yeah.
And I'm not going onto that main island.
Yeah, just drag this out forever until they get hungry and have to go grab something to eat. But hopefully that doesn't happen. I feel like LB chose a civilization which lacks strength on land, and he is now regretting that decision. Because obviously his water choice was interesting, but I don't see him facing Koreans and Celts on land. I mean, there are plenty of civilizations which are strong on water and also on land, and many of them are out right now as well. So many things to think about going into these games, though, and it's been a good one so far.
Yeah, Pumakel actually running his Santa northwards, and it looks like he's going to run it straight into Claviscus's army if he's not careful here. So having to duck and dodge and dive. The question is, where's he going to go? He's going to be spotted out here. If not, he's going to run into a castle and just die to a single volley of arrows.
Well, he's gonna find a new home. He maybe gonna build a TC. I mean, honestly, there's no hope for him here. But it's nice to see the kings run around and try and survive. I will say the water control. Yeah. Have a little hope. Nilly said the same thing last time. It's Christmas. Have a little hope. I will say the nice thing for Teutonic tanks and LB is that their water control is actually helping secure and hold on to that top side they have, where their TCs are, but it's still not efficient.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I mean, so far, Teutonic tanks has defended his TC from a lot of units from Claviscus. Sure, it's like Halbs and Skirms, but those cannon galleons are definitely helping, and it's going to at least help them to carve a little bit of safe ground in this north area. But really, this is where I'm starting to question. Oh dear,
Merry Christmas.
GG. And yeah, I mean, like I say, they can maybe push them off this center area. But when LB10's army and Teutonic Tank's army is, like, you know, mostly boats at this point, or can easily be boats, how are they going to get the water to take the kings from LB10.
Yeah, that's what's difficult. Now, maybe if they get enough resources, like Teutonic tanks especially, maybe
Yes.
going paladins would be nice, because I don't know, I saw a weakness with Aquino's military production. I saw that he left his siege onagers exposed, and maybe paladins would do a great job of picking those off, and obviously they're decent against woads.
Yes.
And he could maybe avoid the halberdiers as well. I mean, we're just talking hypotheticals, but Spanish are good when they have military on land. And speaking of which, there's paladins on the left right now, but they're up against a large Korean army.
Oh, yeah. And not fully upgraded either. And that's, yeah, a lot of hubs right there. Obviously, the skirms, they're really not going to do anything. But, yeah, I'm wondering what those paladins can really achieve. The problem is, if they want to get to one of the kings, well, they're going to have to go through a lot of walls, and they're going to have to break down, well, at least like 2 or 3 castles. I like what Claviscus has done here. He's actually garrisoned units in a few of his castles, just to kind of act as decoys.
I don't think he's gonna have, like, he's walled 2 castles, but I think it's obvious which castle he has the king in.
Do you think?
There's 2 layers of walls around one castle. Some of them aren't walled, and then one has 1 layer and it's open, so I think it's obvious.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right, that is really smart when players do that, and the paladins from Teutonic tanks are cleaning up, at least for now, as Gray sends in more of his own house.
Absolutely. You know, I'm just really curious what LB10's going to do next.
Yeah.
I'm looking at his eco. He still has a lot of wood. He's still got plenty of gold. He can make more ships. But I think that's like all they're making at the moment. Just ships. Oh no, actually saying that, he has got some berserk on the land.
He has a lot of them too. And he has the right corner and he has the top corner. And I see him sending resources to Teutonic tanks as well. He's done that more than once.
Yeah. Maybe to fund this paladin production, which, to be honest, is working pretty well.
Yeah.
With some bombard towers here, he's looking to keep his foothold and continue to be able to build forwards. But, I mean, this is the thing. You can't make paladins forever, really. They are. There is going to come a point where, with trade cogs, you're definitely going to struggle to keep the gold production coming in. And you're just going to be worn down by Claviscus's halbs over time.
Well, I keep looking at the populations, and Aquino's at 110 pop, and Claviscus is at 104. So I feel like with the trade, even though it's not very efficient, I feel like the trade is helping at least, and the teamwork is maybe what will bring Teutonic tanks and LB against this superior army composition. And obviously LB is the better player, so this will be interesting to watch, as there seems to be a good push on the left.
They've also, I mean, look at this, 69 villagers for Aquino, and Claviscus is at 72. These guys need more villagers, really. They've actually taken some losses throughout the duration of the game, and they've forgotten to reboot.
Yeah, the water control is huge. If you look, Teutonic tanks and LB have surrounded the outer edge, so they're denying farm space, wood, relic, things like that. So it's really, really nice, and these Spanish bombard towers are going to be a pain in the butt, and the paladins are going to pick off siege onagers and all the rest of the siege coming in.
This is super good. This is super good for these guys. Let's just check how much gold is actually in the bank here for Teutonic tanks. He's actually struggling for food right now, more than anything. And that actually makes sense when you look at it. He's really not farming at all.
Yeah, he's lacked wood. I think food is actually being sent to him right now. He's lacked wood collection. In fact, I don't think he has any lumberjacks, but maybe he's not. It's just kind of weird. It's like every villager he does have is on a farm, but he doesn't have enough food. He doesn't have any lumberjacks to transfer to make farms. So maybe we'll have to just hope for food being slow. But he is actually
overcoming here.
Yeah.
Claviscus is getting overrun, and the trade is here as well, actually.
That's not going to happen.
Carts pop into that market. This is great, and I actually genuinely think this could be the push.
And
these guys have no eco.
The interesting thing is LB is pushing from the right now. He has rams, trebs, and he will probably, my guess is, get a castle up and make units from here. And then the left push is coming in from Teutonic tanks. So assuming they push in through these two, they will end up fighting in the middle for the win. So it's very nice to see.
That's pretty great.
Orange needs some siege,
that.
I think, though. He can't just fight uphill against halberdiers and with towers. He needs to add in some siege to kill the production buildings.
He's also out of stone now as well, so no more bombard towers for a while. Out of gold. He does have a lot of wood in the bank, very little amounts of food, but yeah, I mean, the push here is going to start slowing down, I think, as the resources have just kind of been ground out of them. The bombard towers, though, they are really going to have a big impact. Like, the longer these guys are standing for and the longer they're fighting underneath them, those bombard towers will be getting a lot of kills.
Yeah. And so many times...
pushing, though.
Yeah, I was going to say, so many times we've said that, like, Teutonic Tanks was going to struggle. He was, like, out of resources in some way, shape, or form. Same with LB, and now they've actually used their water control, I think, to suffocate the other players. And now they're pushing in. Now, the question is, what's in Aquino's castle? Where is his king? I believe his king's in the walled-in castle, but that's not far away.
Let's have a look here. Yeah, you're right.
To the left, yeah.
And that's an easy target for LB right now. I mean, what is Aquino actually making? What's his defense here? He's got a couple of siege onagers. He's sending halbs north, but he's not prepared for an attack in the south.
Aquino and Koviscus are both below 100 population. I really don't think they can sustain production.
This is ridiculous, considering how close LB10 was to being eliminated earlier on. This is a great fight back onto the center land, and I think they're doing it.
Yeah, and what he has done as well has been pretty impressive. Transported twice to different islands, killing 2 kings, and now the siege ram Treb push is coming in. He's also still sending a lot of resources to Teutonic tanks, so regardless of who wins, I think it may go down to Orange and LB. He's been a nice guy, so you have to say that. He didn't have to send those resources, but it's helping him in the long run.
And I'm really wondering if sending those resources to Teutonic tanks is kind of sending the win at the end of the day as well. I mean, the Spanish are going to be a superior civ on the land. Of course, when it comes to water, well, right now there's not a huge navy from either of them, it seems. Mostly just trade cogs on the water at the moment, but yeah, I don't know. I kind of feel like Teutonic tanks, if it comes down to it, probably got a good chance of taking this.
Yeah.
I don't want to say should take it, but it's got a good chance.
The one thing the Vikings don't have that Koreans and Celts do have is halberdier, and you can see the halberdiers are actually doing a decent job now for these other players. So if it comes to the point where LB pushes through the right side and they have to face one another, then I think that LB will struggle a little bit without halbs. But I can actually say that a decent push back finally from Gray and Purple, even though their populations are way down. In fact, Gray's below 50 pop. What has happened?
Whoa. I'm amazed that LB10 isn't going in for the kill here.
I don't even know where his military
He's still got a
is.
decent army on the land.
Oh, there it is.
It's
okay.
kind of coming down, yeah.
Well, I think his problem is he's at 200 pop.
So
So I think he's trying to take his time because he has so many. He has 83 military, but a lot of it's still on water. So maybe he's trying to make sure he's not going to overcommit. Because, like, 4 or 5 siege onagers could, behind a wall, could do a lot of damage to him.
But if anything, now is the time to strike when it's 2v1 versus Teutonic tanks in the north.
Yep.
And the rear of Gray's base is totally undefended. He's got such a clear path to that castle. In fact, I think the king has been moved, or the Santa has been moved from that castle, actually.
Yeah, let me see if I can figure out where it is for the stream. No TCs. No... Oh, in a castle right next to the Paladins where Teutonic tanks is coming in, actually. So he moved it closer to someone else.
Well, it saves defeat for now, but LB10, yeah, he's coming in. And I don't think we're going to see much left of Aquino's base soon. But then again, look at that. Those berserks melting underneath the castle fire.
That's true, and LB recognizing this, immediately sending his rams back as fast as possible. Gonna send in berserks just to pick those guys off. Aquino doesn't have the resources to make much. I don't think he has any food production, really. So whatever siege onagers he loses, he cannot afford to reproduce.
I don't think Koviscus has any army. It's gone. It's just paladins now.
Wow.
Look at this. He's got nothing here, and he's moved his king out of the really walled up castle, but this is going to go very quickly now, I think, as the Trebs push in and the Rams come in from LB10 as well, and also the Trebs, of course.
there's nowhere they can go either. They can't do what LB did earlier and go to another island because they have water control. So at this point, it's pretty much over. Scorpion's now coming in from LB. Both LB and Teutonic tanks have to prepare for what is to come when they have to fight one another. But they still have to, of course, take care of business by killing the other two.
Yeah, I wonder if LB10's going to kill Aquino or if Teutonic Tanks is going to get that honor.
Yeah, I want to just confirm where LB's king is. Okay, it's where Red's base was originally, and then I want to see where Teutonic Tank's king is. Because if it's on the water, we're next to water.
Island,
yeah, they both have it on the starting island. Imagine if we just see a big water battle. Oh, wow.
Just to finish things off.
Yeah.
I think they'd run out of gold and wood before that
it's true.
ever really.
And they're gonna have no trade when that fight comes as well.
That is true. So the king here from Claviscus now in that town center at the very south, basically surrounded. He can't run towards the water because Teutonic Tanks does have galleons there. I've actually just noticed, look how he's farming on the shoreline, using his galleons to protect his farmers. That's brilliant.
Yeah. And this is bad news for Claviscus, gosh, as he calls the GG.
Claviscus.
Yeah, Santa Claus is running away. But yeah, he has nothing left. Santa Claus is running away, but he's just going to run into enemy units. And Gray is near death as well. I'm not sure where his king is, or his Santa Claus, but it's got to be close by.
Oh, he's moved it again. Oh, there we go. It's running up to, at the very north, there's a castle with some foundation around it.
That's
Gray
not
is
obvious.
trying to build another wall.
That's not obvious at all. But
yeah, this is getting gutted. But the question is, I mean, when will LB10 and Teutonic Tanks pull that trigger and actually go for one another here?
Yeah.
As their spies gets researched, they know where Aquino is.
Well,
what happens next?
Well, Merry Christmas. Claviscus has gone down, and now Aquino will probably be next. Dave saying in the chat, don't underestimate Viking C with low res. Well, we'll see. I mean, the trade will go down. Now, if I were LB, if I were Teutonic Tanks, I would think about saving the trade and maybe try and find a dock. Like Sci-Fly has a dock down here, for example, and trading with it on the other side. Now, I see heavy demos from Teutonic Tanks. That's interesting.
Ooh. Is he going to try and blow up the trade line, or...
I don't know.
What's his plan here? That's a lot of demolition ships, and obviously he can't... Oh, actually, LB10's moved his king.
I see that. In fact, when I find them out of the castles, I am control grouping now, so I know where they're at. But LB may be scared.
It's on the other side. Have you seen it?
Yeah. It's right up next to the transport.
Okay,
so
cool. Yeah.
He's gonna run, and that's probably smart because he doesn't want to have to fight on the water, I guess.
No.
But does that show that he's confident he's going to win on the land? I think he might be. Tanks doesn't have many paladins here, actually. And,
yeah.
Well, Santa's running in the north as well.
I see that, yeah. And he has the trade, yeah. This is funny.
Oh, man.
Oh, the TC from LB! Oh, man, he almost got another kill. This is all bragging rights, basically. And the trade cogs are there just to block, just as a meat shield.
Love it.
Yeah, well.
Good old trade cart rushing. It works.
Exactly. Look at this.
He's going to get flattened any second now. It's going to happen. One of those cannonballs right in Santa's face.
I don't know. Like, it should fire right over, maybe. Oh,
there you go.
Oh, yeah.
That was a brutal cannonball right there.
Exactly.
Like, that was just a homing missile.
Yep, right in the back of the head. Now, hold on. Did LB make a mistake?
This is it.
Do you see LB's Santa? He had it grouped with Berserks.
I didn't see it, though.
It's right next to his castles now, but I hope he's not going to send that into battle. That would be so disappointing for him. Now,
That'd be ridiculous.
I really want to pay attention to the demos as well from Orange, because I don't know what he's planned. I don't know where they went either.
I think he knows it's with the Berserks. It looks like he's put them in box formation, and he's just patrolling them around. Just doing a little tour of his empire over here.
I'm sorry, where are the demos located?
The kings, the king, I mean, with the Berserks.
Yeah, okay, I was gonna say.
Put them in box formation.
Yeah.
The demos are coming in, yeah. But what's the plan? Tanks? What's the plan?
I don't know. I don't even see the demos on my screen.
They're at the north of the map. He's going
Looping
into the
around.
trade.
Demos
But, I
and
mean,
trade
what's
cogs.
the target here?
I don't know. I mean, oh, they're right in there. They look so similar. That's probably his plan.
Yes.
Yeah. Get the T90 demos in the chat, guys. Sheesh. I mean, killing trade might be useful, but maybe he's going to try and kill... I have no clue. But Teutonic Tank, he just changed alliances, and... what's he going to do? I'm so confused myself. Going for the docks?
Going for the docks, maybe? Yeah, I mean...
That's a stupid
There's
move, in my
another group
opinion.
of demos at the south here.
Just blowing everything up.
And... I guess, well, he's... GG. He
GG.
called it.
Okay.
Well, I'm surprised, to be honest. I thought maybe he would
Whoa.
stay in a little longer.
I have to LB.
Wait, what? LB? Hold on.
What
LB
happened there?
lost?
Yeah.
Did he lose his king? I saw him put it in a transport. Did the transport get exploded? What?
If he lost that transport to a demo ship, I'm gonna
It might
have
have
to
happened,
like
you know.
go back, and I wouldn't think that would ever happen to LB. It would have had to been near his castles. I need to message them real quick.
Oh, apparently LB called it because he was Vikings,
He called it because he was Vikings.
not
and he didn't
because
think...
of any other reason.
Gotcha. Okay, so
But I disagree with that decision. I genuinely think he could have won that.
yeah, I agree. But it happened. Yeah, I mean, look at his resources. If you look at Teutonic Tanks, he had good resources as well. I mean, it goes back to our conversation about how Vikings
LB10
struggle
had
on
more
land.
wood.
But yeah,
That's true. But we've already seen LB10. If he wins the water, he could do a lot
Mhm.
with that. And he had the most wood there. He could have won the water fight if it came down to it. Obviously, Teutonic Tanks just threw away a lot of demolition ships for nothing.
yeah.
I don't know. I feel like LB really could have won that.
Especially had he taken his trade cogs to that corner and maybe traded with one of these docks. Even Pummicle had a dock left. So, I mean, those are always things you could think about. But regardless, that was a really exciting game. And I did not think that they would steamroll over Koviscus and Aquino like that. That was really, really nice.
No. I think their biggest mistake, Aquino and Claviscus, is they didn't reboom their economy. They lost their start islands, and they were booming with like 3 or 4 TCs in the middle. But once they'd lost their villager population, they were down at like 60 and 70 villagers, but they didn't reboom. And then if they'd have built more villas, they could have made more trash, and they probably would have held longer and maybe pushed it back against the paladins even.
Yeah, it was almost surprising, wasn't it? Because we saw their population was so low, and I was like, what? How's that possible? Because they had such amazing researches in Elite Woad Raider, Siege Onager, Siege Ram. I was like, what? How's that possible? But maybe they just didn't push out and expand as much as they needed to, like you said. But great game, and
Yeah.
I think the 2 players who used the best teamwork in the end got to the last 2 spots, and congrats to Teutonic Tanks there.
Yeah, congratulations. And I like that we saw a few different strategies in play as well. Obviously, Pumakel trying to just be against the world. LB10 kind of focusing more on the water, and then the others that were fighting for the land. So a good variety of strats, and I agree with what you said exactly. I mean, they had great teamwork in the end, pressuring from both sides, cleaning up Claviscus and Aquino, and then finishing it from there.
All right, and with that, I will look at the units killed and units lost. You can see Teutonic Tanks had 1,300 units killed, 347 units lost. So, I mean, with that, he was well ahead. I think his water control, as well as his paladin production, really helped him there. He just had too many paladins, and the bombard towers. I think Spanish bombard towers just really strong. I've thought an awful lot about using a mod that disables bombard towers for the next series, but I don't know. They have a purpose. So Claviscus didn't do too well with the KD. Ultimately, it came down to killing kings, though, and surviving, so I don't think that's too important. Economy is what helped that, and LB and Teutonic Tanks actually had the most gold, and their trade profit actually wasn't too bad. A lot better than I thought it would have been. I don't know
Let
how
me
much.
check this as well.
Yeah, I don't know how much they
That's good.
spent, you know, but certainly they profited because they made a lot of trade cogs, but it's never. There's a lot of conversation, like people always ask how good are trade cogs, and normally they're not as good, especially on a map like this, but that wasn't bad for them. Certainly better than nothing.
Well,
and
they're
there's
better
uptime.
than exactly. It's better than nothing. They had no option to trade on land, and if they didn't have the trade, they wouldn't have had the paladins. And if they didn't have the paladins and the gold units like the siege, they wouldn't have been able to kill Aquino and Claviscus. I think so. It was the necessary step to victory.
Yeah, and